The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Hole studio in Bobcaygeon. I'm your host, Terry, and without me, me without him is Jim, who should be occupying the chair sometime this week. We look forward to conversations over breakfast and pushing the record button with a mic and getting Jim's thoughts on a number of things, and maybe including this one, Joe Rogan. You love him or you hate him. I used to sort of think in the middle, but I began to slide towards the, I don't think he's competent. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that sane is the right word, but certainly sliding to the right. How far right is the question, but definitely from maybe a centrist, rational position to somewhere on the right side of things, and his couple of podcasts that I'm going to feature today just give evidence of how far to the right some people have gone, including the GOP, which is now MAGA, not GOP, not Republican. The conservatives, who are no longer progressive conservatives, but convoy conservatives. And it goes on. But the claims made by guests on Joe Rogan, including from Joe Rogan's own mouth, seem to suggest a slide. Like maybe when you're coming in, when you're on skates and you do the side slide and the stuff sprays all over the place. And it starts with stuff like this. And I'm taking clips now from the Rational National to get started here.
Like, their ability to express himself on the internet has been severely limited.
Joe Rogan's recent comments about Canada are so ill-informed, so unbelievably stupid, that it makes me long for tropes about moose, igloos, and mounties. Or, does your head flap when you talk? Thanks, South Park. All of that is better than what you're about to witness. But this is not simply rage bait. I'm going to break down exactly what I suspect he is trying to talk about here, and hopefully inform both Canadians and Americans in the process. First, listen to this trash.
If you can't express yourself and say, hey, this is fucked up, this is crazy, why am I doing this? Like, these studies show that you're not correct. Like, if you can't say all those things, which right now you can't do in Canada, it's not the same. Like, their ability to express himself on the internet has been severely limited. It's real weird, man. It's real weird, and it's happening right. You could walk there. If you wanted to, you could walk there. And it's fucked. It's like it's on the same patch of land as us, and it's fucked. It just shows you what can happen here if you don't have the right laws. Because people like that fuckhead, Justin, they pretend.
You guys
that
are on first name basis.
Yeah, that cocksucker. They pretend that they're, and I don't talk this way about anybody.
No, I'm really surprised.
I genuinely despise people like that. And I think it's good to say it publicly because people need to understand like what these people are doing. These people are leading you on the road to legitimate communism. Like he's leading that country on a road to.
All right, on the road to legitimate communism, says Joe Rogan. Really? Communism, where you have some kind of authoritarian leadership, some kind of dictatorship. Would that be the United States, Joe? Maybe. You know, with your authoritarian dictator from day one, Donald J. Trump, would that be different? I loved his comment about the same patch of land. Yeah, if you look, the mountains don't know border restrictions, so the Rockies go north and south, the prairies go north and south, the rivers go north and south, a lot of them. And, you know, you can't tell where the border is most of the time unless they stuck it. They chop down the trees through BC to, you know, show you where the border is. Other than that, you'd never know where you crossed from one to the other. Except there is a tell. And for Joe Rogan, it's that Canada is the land of stupid communism. And it's the land of we hate Trudeau. F Trudeau. And later on in the podcast, it shows a truck going down Ottawa in front of the Parliament buildings, in front of the Cenotaph with, I don't know, 5 or 6 F Trudeau freedom stickers and all the rest. Yeah, communism and dictatorship are the opposite of what we have in Canada. And free healthcare. Well, don't get me started on healthcare because that is an anathema too. That would be socialism, or maybe that is part of Rogan's evidence of communism, where we care for people and we have public health care paid for. Yeah, nobody going broke that I know of yet. But, the American influence in our two-tier healthcare system, private clinics happening in Canada, is that making us better, Joe? Because that's definitely a capitalist leakage over across the border from the U.S. Pay as you play is an American capitalist philosophy. Give me Canada, land of free healthcare. But there's more. Let's take a look at this one.
All three of them had stage 4 cancer. All three of them don't have cancer right now at all.
Damn.
And they had some serious stuff going on.
What did they take?
Jesus. They took what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin,
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
What is this behavior? Legitimately, I think isn't this some kind of like not sobriety, like this like crazy shit? It feels like
this is not a man you should be taking medical advice from when he's tweaking out.
It's like Kanye. He's like, I'm not going to say who it was.
Well, no, Kanye just seems like he's like
He was Jewish.
Kanye seems like he's like has like some kind of bipolar or something. But this guy seems like he's like on drugs or something.
Yeah.
Studies on this now where people have proven that they've
drinking methylene blue and stuff.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah. How many people are actually going to start like drinking methylene blue and fabric softener and whatever else on the show? Like, I'm like halfway to drinking it right now. Well, like, oh shit, that cures cancer? Like, if you were desperate, you might go drink.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you actually have stage 4 cancer and like, sorry, the chemo didn't work. And you're watching Joe Rogan and he's like,
fan.
yeah, ivermectin and Tide Pods.
Why not give it a shot?
It. Honey, can you...
All right, so let's just wrap it up there. So that's two examples from two fairly recent podcasts. One featuring Mel Gibson, because he does have a movie coming out, and I think it's about the resurrection, and that's worth becoming aware of because the fellow seems to be a devout religious person, devout Catholic in his particular case, and he does... Rogan did something that I kind of support when he had Gibson on. He challenged his resurrection narrative, but allowed Gibson to say what he was going to say. But the resurrection is one of those things where you say, if you believe in the divine omniscience and omnipotence and ability to do things and work magic in the realm of the physical material world, then I guess you would believe in miracles. But if you require evidence for these things, and evidence of divine interaction, in this case, healing people from stage 4 cancer by consuming Tide Pods and methylene blue and ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, all the rest of those things that we know have little to none effect on outcomes, then perhaps we need to start looking at what other claims do you have that cannot be backed up by science. Science is the land of reality. It's the land of repeatable hypotheses. You do it, you test it to the limits, and you find out whether you're right or you're wrong. If not, you go back to the beginning and start again. It's sort of like SpaceX repeating their rocket designs and having an iterative process until they get it right. That's what science is, until you get it right. A lot of people hide behind the notion that science gets it wrong. Well, science doesn't get it wrong. Science is a methodology. We know what we know when we know it. And when we have more tech, more inventions, more thoughts, more theories, we know more. Definitely. Doesn't mean we got it wrong. It just means we knew as much as we knew when we knew it. The Earth was flat. Yeah, many thousand years ago, up until the Middle Ages, it still persisted. But then observation, technology changed, telescope, theories, mathematicians, Copernicus, Kepler, Galileo. We know what we know when we know it. Doesn't mean it was wrong, doesn't mean it was bad or evil. It just means it is what it is. Thank goodness we have people with minds to comprehend and a desire to know. It's that quest to know. And I'm not sure that quest was always promoted or fostered. That quest is often stifled, and that's what inquisitions were up until the Middle Ages. Perhaps that's still going on, where dissenting thought an opinion is squelched. And I would say, along the lines of Joe Rogan, that perhaps the internet is tilting to the right. And in Canada, we do have laws about what you can and cannot say. And I think it's important. Whose laws are better? Well, I would probably say that Canada's laws are progressive, and that American laws are still embedded in the notion that capitalism influences policy rather than philosophy and perceptions of what is good and what is bad. So you can get away with so much in the States before it impinges on your ability to conduct business and make money. And when that happens, that's when they draw the line. This is no longer acceptable. Why? Not because of necessary a moral conflict or ethical difficulty, because it squelches someone's ability to make money off of whatever it is that you're trying to do. Money making. Follow the money. A Wigmore Allen Gibbons song. Follow the money. I think it's still on SoundCloud. Lots of stuff that we can follow, and if we follow it to its absurd argument, will it become clear to us, or will we still be waving F. Trudeau flags even though Trudeau has resigned? Why the hate on for Trudeau is beyond me, but Joe Rogan is one source of that hatred and animosity. And he says he doesn't speak like that about every leader, just Trudeau. So where's it all coming from? I would suggest follow the money, and the money happens to have the biggest pockets where there are the biggest businesses. So I follow it that way. Look at corporate influence in elections, bending the will of the people, shaping it by owning Twitter, owning Facebook, removing fact check. Remember, Trump didn't want to go on the debate because he didn't want to be fact-checked. And that's the way we go. Fact-checking, we roll with facts. We roll with fact-checking. We roll with, you can have an opinion and you have your right to say it, but you better have evidence. Evidence demands a verdict. The Jim and Terry Show, signing off. Bye-bye for now.